Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Truscott, and along with my brother Mark, we're very proud to be the principals of Family Karate and to have the opportunity to serve you and your families. The demos that you saw, Master Burleson hasn't been here for quite a while, so we wanted to give him some sense of all the different kinds of things that we work on at Family Karate and all the different levels of skill that we demonstrate at Family Karate, so hope you enjoyed that, sir. We had teams from, first of all, 4S Ranch, and then we had Penasquitos, and then Escondido, and then we had the Solana Beach team, and we also had the Special Abilities team. And we appreciate Mr. Katz and his team leading us in the pledge, but if everyone would be kind enough to stand, we're going to salute Master Burleson and Master Hawkins. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, 10th degree black belt, founder and head instructor of the World Martial Arts Ranking Association from Fort Worth, Texas, and the instructor of Master and Mrs. Hawkins since white belt, Grandmaster J. Pat Burleson. J. Yeah. And next, let me introduce you to the co-founder of Family Karate, my training partner, and my Taekwondo mom. He's a 6th degree black belt, Mrs. Fran Hawkins. And the gentleman we're here to honor tonight who's taught us all to be honorable and live lives of integrity and courtesy and perseverance. He's an 8th degree black belt, and he is the founder of Family Karate, and he's our instructor emeritus, Master Chuck Hawkins.
I'm often asked what the underbelt symbolism means, and that's fairly easy to explain to someone, whether they're in martial arts or whether they're not in martial arts. It's just a way to measure the skill growth on the way to black belt. It's a little bit more difficult to explain black belt from 1st degree on up to 10th. And because the martial arts is similar to military arts, you can understand what a general is, and in our history, you can look at people like Colin Powell and like Dwight D. Eisenhower, who not only was promoted to general in his tenure, but he was also president of the United States. So it's really the same thing. Not everyone that joins the Army becomes a general. Not everyone that joins and trains in martial arts, develop up through high-ranking black belt. And you wouldn't be here in this organization right here. This organization wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this man and the effort that he put out. He didn't just train and learn martial arts. He trained and shared it with other people and passed it on. So that's why the importance of this ceremony here. Mr. Hawkins, please stand, please.
Seated.
Youngin. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you 10th degree black belt Chuck Hawkins.
I said earlier at the City Hall, Escondido City Hall, and I want to say again, in 1968, I walked into a very scary place. It had reed fencing around the inside, and a sign outside said Korean Waves Karate. And in 1968, most people thought karate was pretty weird. Nowadays, it's pretty weird if you're not involved. Anyway, I walked into this scary place, and there's a bunch of people in there, a bunch of guys, they're lined up kicking this bag, and this one guy just kind of looked like Robert Mitchum, and that's a compliment, sir. Big arms. He walked over to me and said, "Hi, Pat Burleson." That changed my life. That 1 minute relaxed me enough to get started on a lifetime journey. A few years later, several years later, we kind of lost touch. And Master Burleson came out, and I was getting promoted to a high rank again. And I hadn't seen him in years. And so we went to the Rancho Penasquito School, which was a lot smaller then than it is now. And a lot of the parents were sitting around the class watching the kids. And he walked in, and to each parent, he walked over and said, "Hi, Pat Burleson." Uh, I know you guys think that I've done a lot, and I feel like I really feel rewarded from all of the people that are here and all of the people that I have been able to touch. But I want you to know, not only has Pastor Pat Burleson always been a humble man who was very, very accomplished, but he's been an ambassador for martial arts and I want to say the peacemaker among several martial arts, all the different systems and styles. Everybody knows this man. Everybody has seen this man, and anybody who's ever competed with this man never forgets him. But because of his efforts, as much as anybody else I can think of, all of the martial arts, karate and judo and jiu-jitsu and kung fu and all of that, have a better understanding of each other and a much more of a respect. You drop a pebble into the pond, and you never know where the waves are going to end up. Thank you, Master Burleson. Thank you, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many people here that we need to acknowledge, but I'd really like to thank some of the people that we weren't expecting to see here tonight, but have had a long history with family karate. So, how about Master Johnson? You jump up, sir. And Diane Johnson. So, you can all see how sweet and loving and amazing artist Master Johnson. He's the man I was most afraid of in the whole world. Only because I didn't have Master Burleson working with me in those days. But Master Johnson made me a much better martial artist, and I'm very, very grateful to have him in my life. Also, another one of my training partners is Mr. McDonald. Is Mr. McDonald here? He was at our civic ceremonies. We're really glad to see him tonight. And, you know, martial arts is about lives transformed. And I actually mentioned this person and to Chief Carter tonight at our civic ceremonies, and I can't believe that he's here tonight. It's just one of those serendipitous things that we're so grateful for. Mr. Martinez, we're so glad you're here with your family, sir. Transformational power of martial arts in a person's life. I'm also really, really grateful to have a really important person in my life here, and that's Mr. Cliff Phillip. And his dear wife, Lee. Martial arts, Mr. Phillip credits martial arts for getting him out of a wheelchair, and his wife is telling me that martial arts almost put him back in a wheelchair, but we're really glad to see him up and back and around, so thank you. We're also really glad to have one of my former students, Mr. Daniel Miller, who trained with his brothers. All over from Vegas. We're really, really glad to see you tonight, sir. Please give our love to your family. So who else should I be recognizing, sir? There's so many people who came out to this event tonight. Anyway, thank you, every single one of you, for coming. We're so glad to see you. And we're so appreciative of all the parents who've had your program and kids in our program previously and telling us about your kids in medical school and making a difference in the world and giving credit to your instructors for those differences in your life. We really appreciate that transformational thing that happens from these tiny little kids growing up into compassionate, caring people who make a difference in the world, and that's what we're here for, and so we're really grateful for that. Now, some of you have not been with Family Karate long, some of you have been with Family Karate a long time. One of the things I'm most grateful for at Family Karate is our family tree. As you heard, and you'll hear more about this in a minute, Master Burleson started teaching Master and Mrs. Hawkins when they were brand new students. And my brother and I, and both my sisters, started with Master Hawkins when we were white belts too. And many of the instructors, Ms. Liana, lots of instructors up here started with Master Hawkins or Master Hawkins students as white belts. But our average senior instructor, 4th degree and above, has been with Family Karate. This just doesn't happen in the United States, and certainly not in a transitional town like San Diego, over 30 years each. So we're really grateful for that, and we're grateful that you're the next generation, and this is the team that's going to create the next 50 years. And we'll ask Master Wilson a little bit about that. So would you guys like to hear a little bit about history of Family Karate?
Yes!
Good. It won't be from me. So Master and Mrs. Hawkins and Master Wilson, we can just spend a few minutes chatting about that. We'd love to have you do that. So could you get a microphone?